Yes, we are live. Good morning, good morning, good morning. South Florida. Hello, world. I'm Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, president, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. And joining me, my co host, my one and only, my brother from another mother, the living legend. Give him his flowers while he's alive. That is my brother from another mother, Mr. James T, all the way from Hot 105. How you doing, my brother from another mother?
Hey, Doc, it's a wonderful thing to be here, Rob. And it's strange you would say what you just said. We've never discussed that. I had a gentleman once telling me, James T, you need to let people give you your flowers while you're alive. And I told
Yes.
him I was, it might be snobbish, but I said to him, what I have, I said, I have what I need. I can grow all the flowers I want. If I want some flowers. And that might have been snobbish or whatever, but I was being misled when I told the gentleman that, and he knew that because I won't get into it, but they were asking me to participate in something that I had declined. Respectfully declined, and they were going to put me in it anyway. And so, but anyway, it's good to be Rob. We are. I'm on fire today. So wait, I know Rob is not going to do it, so I'm going to do it. Congratulations to you and the Henderson Financial Group. I saw on social media that you were honored by Miramar. Tell us about it.
Yeah, yeah. Like you just said,
Gotcha.
after you said what you said about your flowers, and then you're going to say, tell us about your.
I'm sorry,
Boy, you
but it's
set me
true.
up, man.
Mine was not on social media. The reason I can
Well,
say
I didn't
that,
put it on social media.
no,
That's
I know you didn't, but you looked good. The group looked good, and more people know about it. See,
yes.
people didn't know what I said about my flowers. But so tell us about what happened, and what a great. I know it was a great event.
It really was a great event. It was a nice gathering. Different people. I seen some people I hadn't seen in 10, 20 years there was any, there was in the audience in attendance. And it
Hmm.
was really good. That mayor of Miramar is spot on, man. Him and his crew, you know, who said black people can't lead? Man, I tell you, man, this guy here is showing it out, showing out, showing out, and he's laying the ground for anybody that come after him. They really have to, they have to do the thing because this dude here, man, he don't play. I mean, he's practicing what he's preach. I mean, this guy's in the health. He's like very very personable, and and he really cares about the city, and he's really proactive, and he's building. He's not just a talker, man. This guy, he's not one of them politicians just talk the talk. This guy's a doer, man. You can see his works, and
Amen.
really down to earth, and his team that he has. I know he goes through HELL, but he's pushing through it, and the results are coming. And he, the city of Miramar gave me an award for doing Black History Month in terms of contributing to the city and the community. And I've done seminars there, several seminars there to educate the people about total financial planning, about wills and trusts, and just really having a nice dialogue with the people. And anytime they ask me to come, I come, and I really help, and I lend a hand, and I give my expertise. And it was such a beautiful night, man. We had Freddie T, Fred Tell. I hadn't seen him in a while. A good friend of
Hmm.
mine, him and his wife, they were there too, and and they did a fireside chat with. We call him Freddie T. That's Fred Teller, who he's going to be a Hall of Famer with Jacksonville Jaguars running back. Really down to earth guy, man. If you don't like Freddie T, something wrong with you. He's on that show with the Pivot.
Hmm.
It's a show that they have that's pretty popular. But they did a side chat with him, and then the people that were honored. I seen when I took the picture that was only male that was honored, but them women, man. Oh my God, they showing up and showing out, man.
Well,
They
it's Women's Month this month. We're on radio. We're honoring women all for the month of March.
Man, they was powerful,
Yeah,
powerful
the sisters.
staffing company, man. Them sisters staffing company, man. I didn't even know. It was one sister got like 200 agents, man. Elite. I mean, I'm like,
Mhm.
whoa, it's good to know them in terms of real estate. they really, you know, they had some really good people. And they had this lady who does yoga that was really all into it. I mean, they really presented, and they really had some good people that was really helping the community and participate in the community and really care. So I really enjoyed it, man. It was spot on. So I enjoyed it. My whole team was there, you know, Hyacinth and Linda couldn't make it, but we had Linda picture on the video also, because they shot a video of us that came to the office, and it was really nice. Gave me a heavy trophy.
Well, to add to that, when you mentioned about Taylor being on the pivot, I tell him I don't interview. I had a conversation on radio with Crowder,
Oh,
uh,
okay. His
who's
partner
also
there.
who's also on the pivot. Yeah, and I had met Fred, years back and in Miramar at some event that they were having. But yeah, I love the fact, and I tell people often on radio that when you are doing something in the community, for the community, and for the people of the community, hey, Rob, we'll go out of our way to support you, because it's not just building buildings or businesses, but it's also building people and families, legacy wealth, as we talk about here. And it's so needed because, Doc, things are changing at warp speed.
Yeah.
Probably greater than that, but that's all we know from back in the day. Warp
Star Trek.
speed was faster. Yeah, faster than anything. But it's probably faster than warp speed right now. And if we're not prepared for change, or if we're not planning for change, because that's a part of my study for today, man, we need, hey, if you are going to uh, be a part of the future, the one thing that you have to recognize is two things will not stop: time and change. Now, you may stop, but time and change will not stop. And I think there was a quote that Miles said that smart and brave men will not lay on the rails of the past and the present and get ran over by the future.
Wow.
If smart, not brave men will lay on the tracks of the past and the present and get ran over by the future. Because if you lay down, you are going to get trampled.
That's true. Miss Redhead said Mr. Henderson's been honored. Being honored is the flowers that you grew. So I guess I have planted.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you plant, and then the harvest time, you know, then you see what happens. You know, you see the harvest. You see,
yeah.
but you have to do it first, and then it comes. You're Thank you, Miss Redhead, Mr. Redhead. Good morning, Denise Ward, Damian Nelson. Good morning. You know, last week we talked about understanding bonds, bonds, security bonds, and I got a lot of calls, texts. I mean, I got a lot for that, man. I know people were like, "Whoa," and I had one call. I said, "Rob, you know, I wanted you to go more into this." So I want to recap some of that, because I really enjoy talking about it, and I really enjoy educating people about, you know, business and, you know, finance, and just getting a better understanding, because um, it's learning about these different financial vehicles and strategies. They don't really present themselves in a down to earth manner. It's a lot of times you're trying to learn about, especially when it comes to medicine, or if it comes to law, or when it comes to finances. They use a lot of terminology and vocabulary that just flies over most people's heads. They don't understand it. But I like to break it down to you like a 6-year-old and say, you know, this is what they're talking about, and look at it, you know, from a different point of view, and a practical view where you can understand it. So I use a lot of examples and a lot of metaphors to help you to understand. Just like last week when we talked about a bond. It's like my word is my bond. My word is my bond, a bond. And when you hear about stocks and bonds, you know, stocks is a maybe. Stocks, anytime you invest in stocks, invest in a company, that's called ownership. It's a maybe. You don't know. You know, you don't know if it's going to make it or not. I mean, McDonald's, believe it or not, or Chick-fil-A, yeah, Chick-fil-A, they cannot put their hand on the Bible and swear how many burgers or how many chickens or how many French fries they're going to sell a day or a month or even a year. They cannot guarantee you that their business is still going to be there next year. None of them can. They cannot swear and guarantee you that. No more than you, me, and I, and us, and we can guarantee that tomorrow we're going to wake up. I mean, there's just no way. We can try to prevent and do all we can do, but when you're investing in companies or in stocks or even living yourself, there is no guarantees. So there is an investment world pretty much mirrors our world, and you, me, and I. And last week I said I wanted you guys to look in the mirror, because each and every one of us, we have the characteristic of even a bond, or we have the characteristics of a stock. And some of us have a hybrid. We have a little bit of bond and a little bit of stock, you know? I mean, like I've been married, may be 37 years. My wife is definitely not a stock. She ain't taking no chances. She ain't taking no risk. She want to see it. She want to feel it. She want to guarantee. She'd rather make no money than lose a penny. My wife, who I've been in love, Natalie, we're a good team, but she is a bond minded. She wants guarantees. If you say, and she wants some security at that. She wants security. So a bond, and I can't hear you, James.
She's got that security with your presence in the house.
Because I'm the stock. Yeah, right. I'm the stock. So that's why I say, you know, it's good if you can have both. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have husband and wife that has a bond mentality. So let me tell you, first of all, what the bond is. Then we'll go into a stock. And I'm using a metaphor because I want you to really, really get understanding. Iris, good morning. Raining in Atlanta. How you doing, Iris? Yeah, it's raining there. Thank God it ain't raining here yet, but it'll clear up. This too shall pass, Iris. It will pass. Okay, so I want to use metaphors, examples, like in the scriptures in Matthews. You know, I want to keep hitting it. And I'm gonna, Craig Locke. I promise I'm gonna tell you how the terms of bonds, the short-term bonds, mid-range bonds, and 30 years bonds. You know, the U.S. government security bonds is supposed to be the highest in terms of quality and guarantee of safety. Because why? Because the federal government can print money, so they're gonna pay you, okay? Unless they default, unless Republicans and Democrats say we ain't gonna pay our bills. That has never happened. One time it happened, then for about a week, and then they got everything together. But bonds usually like a CD. You know how you can get a CD, certificate of deposit at the bank? You can get a 6 months, a 1 year, a 5 year. It's a maturity date. All bonds have maturity dates. You can get a 1 year bond, you can get a 5 year bond, you can get a 10-year bond, or you can get a 30-year bond. 30 years, they may be paying you 4% interest, but you know you're gonna get your money. You're not gonna lose a penny as long as the government is still around. They can print money. So that's what's secure about a bond, knowing that if you put your money there, you're gonna get it, but you got to wait the term out. A bond is not liquid. So if you have a 5-year bond, you give someone, corporation, you give the government, and you say, here, take my money. I'm coming back in 5 years, have my money. They're gonna pay you, let's say, 3% interest every year. So if you get $1,000 bond, we know at the end of the year, you're going to get $30. That's 3%. Okay. You're going to get $30. That's all. And you got to report that income taxes. You got to report that on your income tax. Otherwise, you'll get a penalty with the IRS. Okay. So that's what a bond is, an IOU. And they have maturities, and it's not liquid. So if you get a 10-year bond, if you try to take that and break that bond, you're going to be penalized. Okay. So it's not really, we don't consider bonds liquid. All right. But bonds, like I said, each and every one of us, we either bond or we're stock or we're a mixture. In my family, my wife is a bond. I am a stock. Why? Because bonds are just too slow for me. I wanted to always grow and amass wealth. You can't start off buying bonds and amass wealth. Case in point, let's walk this through. Let's say you have $10,000 and this bond going to pay you $10,000, and you got to lock this bond up for 5 years. And this bond says, okay, you give the people $10,000, whether it's a government bond or it's a corporate bond, and you say, here's my money. I know I can't lose it. I don't care about the stock market because y'all guaranteeing my $10,000 for, let's say, for 10 years. And you're going to get 4%. So every year they're going to give me $40. Excuse me, $400. It's $10,000. And it's 4%. They're going to give me $400 every year. They're going to send it to me. And I got to pay tax on it when I file my income taxes. Now, let's say 3 years go by and all of a sudden I need my $10,000. I can't get it unless I take a discount. I won't get my 10,000. Maybe they'll give me 8,000 for early withdrawal. In other words, I broke it as a penalty, and I can sell that bond not on the open market for 10,000 because I'm cutting short. I had to take a discount because I reneged on the saying I'm going to keep it there for 10 years. I need the money, so it's not liquid. The other thing about bonds are, if you, James, if you bought a bond, an IOU, because you wanted secure and you didn't want no risk and you wanted 4% interest and you put $10,000 into this bond and it's going to mature in 10 years. Let's say the interest rates go up. Now bonds are paying 5%. Well, we know you have you locked in for 10 years. And we know that you have a maturity in 10 years, and we know you put in $10,000, and we know that you're getting 4%, which is $400 a month. And all of a sudden they announce, hey, we got new bonds, same $10,000, but it gets you 5%. Now, James, if I want to buy, if you told me about the bond that you got for 4%, now they come out and they announce that they got a bond for 5%. I'm going to get the one for 5% because I'm getting more interest. Your bond, James, is going to have to go down in value because nobody will buy your bond $10,000 and get 4% when they can get a brand new one and get 5%. You understand? And
wait. No, I don't understand. Why would mine go down just because they're increasing it to 5%? Explain.
No, your bond got, when you buy a bond, it don't increase. You locked in at 4%.
Oh, well, but you said it was going to go down.
Okay.
I thought you meant less than.
Well, okay.
Less than the 4%. I still get my 4%, right?
You still get your 4%. Remember, okay. you paid $10,000.
Okay.
Now let's say I they announce, hey, the new bonds, $10,000, just like what James paid, but these bonds are paying 5%.
Okay.
So you got a $10,000 bond that's paying 4%. I got a $10,000 bond. I got the new bond, $10,000 paying 5%. Who do you think bond is more valuable? Your bond or my bond?
Well, it depends. Well, okay, see, I'm a thinker. So it depends if I'm in my 9th year.
No, you started out 2 years later.
Oh, 2 years later? Well, because I only got $800. Yours is more valuable because in 10 years, in the 8 years that I'm going to be dealing with that $400 a month, hey, you'll be getting more.
I'll be getting $500.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not a month now. That's a year.
Oh, well, see, I wouldn't even think about a bond. To be honest, that was going to be my question to you.
Now you just said something. You said you wouldn't even think about letting somebody hold $10,000 for 10 years, but guaranteeing you 4%
Come on, Rob.
a year.
That's right.
So automatically you telling the audience that you ain't no bond person.
I'm not a bond person.
Now,
that's no question.
There's a saying that we all used to say in the securities financial business.
Mm-hmm.
Rich people buy bonds.
Okay, good.
Now, why do they say only rich people buy bonds? Supposed to. Because if you've already grown your nest egg,
bam, you got billions or millions. Now that's a different thing. You're not dealing with the $10,000.
Well, you're getting somewhere here, James, in terms of thought. You just summed that up. The saying, when we say in the financial industry, only rich people should be buying bonds, because rich people done did what they had to do. They done did their hustle. They done did all that, and they amass some wealth. Now they don't want to lose it, so they want to make sure that they're at least getting 4 or 5% their money guaranteed. They buy bonds. But if you broke and just trying to hustle and start and go up, you can't buy no bond, because if every $10,000, every year, once a year, they're giving you $400. So
or even 500. Well, Rob, come on.
Yeah. Okay, but Jane, but listen, my wife Natalie, she's a bond. At least she know where her money is. A bond-minded person say, at least I know what I know, and I know that I'm getting $400-500 a year off my 10,000.
Well, see, Natalie is that echelon. Those rich people, that's what they do with
no.
Because of her husband.
No, but Natalie was like that when I first met her. She's
I'm sorry.
No, Natalie was like that. Her mind, she just like, nah, she ain't taking no chances. She's not taking no risk. There are a lot of people right now that don't want to take no risk. That's why. Why do you think a bond is the same as a CD? When people go and put in $20,000 in the bank, and the bank said we're gonna pay you, 4% or 5% for 5 years, that's a bond.
When the last time you did that, Rob?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never bought a CD in my life.
You could have said.
But
neither have I.
Yeah, but there's billions of dollars people buy CDs.
Amen.
That's James. You and I, we don't have the characteristic of a CD. We have a characteristics of we deal in faith. Yeah. We deal in growth.
We know that there's going to be growth and change. Go ahead.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with,
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Because there are people, James, that just not going to take there are people that they don't want to lose a penny. They don't even want to, they work too hard for their money. They don't want to even sacrifice. They don't even want to think about there's a chance that they could lose, but they want to get more than the savings account that's giving you not even half of 1%.
Rob, that's why you are not just a financial a certified tax coach. You're a financial planner. So just because they don't want to, quote unquote, lose that money, you're going to show them a better way to use that money. You don't have to lose it, but there's a better way to use it that would give you a greater return.
Yes, you're right. Now, Destiny says, good morning, y'all. Is anyone else having technical difficulties with the broadcast? Are we coming in clear to y'all? Because Destiny said that she having some difficulties. Is it the weather? What about Iris? What about you in Atlanta? Can you hear us loud and clear? Put a 1 in if you can hear us. If we're breaking up, let us know. Maybe we can go out and come back in. Okay, Adrian said clear.
Okay.
And Iris said clear. Okay. So, Destiny, you may need to go out and come back in. We'll be waiting on you.
She says it's good now. She says,
it's good now. Okay. Sometime the weather or this internet, we all got this internet, and especially if you're on Wi-Fi, it'll go out and be weak. But I want to talk about this some more, because I want you guys to get it.
Don't get away from who should be, quote unquote, like you said, wealthy people do it. But here's the question. With knowing that things change, knowing that needs and time comes for need. If you're in that bond, so that person that if that $10,000 is all they have that's liquid, my thing would be, wait a minute. Do you want to put your $10,000 if that's all you have, or your 20,000, or your 30,000, or your whatever amount? If that's all you have liquid and access to, do you want to put it in a bond? What does Mr. Henderson say?
Right. No, you don't want to do that because you're locked up. I have helped churches build churches by organizing church bonds, where the church will issue a bond to its members. And remember now, a bond is an IOU. You are lending your money. They Jedi mind us when we put money in a bank savings account, it's a bond. They promise to pay us, and they're paying us interest. Like I said last week, anything that deals with interest, it's a loan. It is a loan. Credit cards, it's a loan. You go and charge the card. You just borrowed money from the credit card companies. They're going to charge you, 18, 19, 29%, because that's what they're charging. That's the interest. It's a bonds pay interest. Anything that's a loan, there's interest. Stocks don't pay interest. Stocks pay dividends because dividends, you can only get dividend if you own something, if you're owner. Rental property, you don't get interest if you rent the house out, and you don't get dividends if you rent the house out. You get rent. You get rent. Now, the reason why I made those comparison, because I want you to know they all have one thing in common, even though the names change: interest, rent, dividends. We said interest was with bonds, IOU, savings account, CDs, bonds, mortgages. All that's interest, loan component. Rent. You own something. In order for you to receive rent, somebody paying you rent, you must own that property. So they're paying you rent. And then with the bond, I mean, with the bonds of interest, real estate is rent, and then stocks are dividends. Dividends mean you own. You're part owner of the company. So if you want to buy AT&T, you want to buy shares in AT&T, and they pay you almost 7%, not interest now, because remember now it's you buying the shares. So they don't call it 7% interest; they call it dividends. Now, all three of them have one thing in common, even though the names change. But what they all have one thing in common is they're paying you. They paying you. You can call it however you want to. You can call it whatever you want to, a bond, interest, rent, you're getting paid. That's what I want you to understand. It's different ways to get paid, with interest, with rent, with dividends, but you're getting paid. You putting it in your pocket and you building wealth. But they changed the names, the terminology to pay you. You understand? And that's confusing for a lot of people, but I'm hoping that you guys picking up what I'm putting down. So we know that a bond, reason why in the industry, we say bonds are for rich people, because after you have, like people like Oprah Winfrey, she really don't have to. If you got $1 billion and you're getting 5%, you really don't have to take any risk. You don't. Because think about this. If you got $1 million and you're getting 5%, that's $50,000 without you having to work. So you save up $1 million, you put it somewhere where you cannot lose a dime, and every month, every year, they pay you $50,000. And if you got $2 million and you're getting 5%, every year they give you another $50,000, so you're getting $100,000. So just have $2 million. If you can have $2 million and you can put it in a bond safety where you cannot lose a dime, you're getting $100,000. You're getting $8,300 a month guaranteed. That's good stuff. But first, you got to get to the 2 million. If you can't get to the 2 million, you get to at least try to get to 1 million. Now you put it where you can never lose a dime. It don't fluctuate. You know what you have, but it's gonna keep on paying you that $50,000 per million. If you get 6% on the money, guaranteed, and you got $1 million, it's gonna pay you $60,000 every year.
Okay, taxes.
You got to pay taxes. Now, there are bonds. All bonds are not taxable. There's one type of bond that's called a muni bond, a municipal bond, a muni bond. Now, what is a municipal muni bond? You know, when the city or the county, they want to put up a road, a bridge, they can't just ask the taxpayers, hey, yeah,
give me some money. Give me some money.
Give me some money. You know, they're not like the church. Yeah, we need some money.
Stop.
Okay, let me stop. All right. So the city can't do that because people complain. And then the city said, and if they said we're going to raise y'all property taxes so we can get some money so we can build a bridge, people complain. So the city said, okay, how can we get this money? We need $100 million to build this bridge. How can we get this money? So the city said, what we're going to do is we're going to put out notice to investors. We're going to say, investors around the world, this city, whatever city you are, city Miami, we need $100 million not from the people that live here. We don't want to bother them. We ain't gonna do like the church. Okay, we're not gonna bother them. What we're going to do, we want to get it from worldwide. We're trying to raise $100 million to build this bridge, and we're gonna pay 5% interest, not dividends, but 5% interest. Because a bond is what? It's a loan, IOU, and you're going to get your money back in 10 years. But we need, in this totality, we don't care who we get the money from. We need to, like a GoFundMe, okay? We need to raise $100 million, and we're going to pay each person 5%. And to entice you, when we pay you the 5%, it's non-taxable. It's
Woo!
A tax-free bond. Okay. Now that right there.
Because one person could do that. When you put it out to the world, hey, somebody comes up wealthy person.
That's right.
Oh, hey, I got you.
Hey,
now
they want 100 million. One person gonna come and say, "Here's my 20 million."
Right.
And I'm getting 5%.
But Rob, now do they stop when they get the 100 million, or do they go beyond?
They're always building. They always all I-75s and all them, all the stuff that's going I-395 and I-95. Yeah, they raise bond money to get that.
Yeah, but I'm saying, wait. But if they're asking for 100 million on that particular bond, do they stop once they get the people?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that allotment was for that allotment.
For that.
They may call that a Series 7 bond, a Series 2000 bonds. But then they see that more people want to get in. Guess what they do?
They find another reason. They go,
we can ready to go again. it's like you have a concert and it's sold out. Let's get another date.
Hey, yes, sir. Hey,
right?
Two shows, same day.
2 shows now. It's another show been added. So they raise cities and counties. That's what they do. They raise these, they call muni bonds, municipal bonds. Those bonds are tax-free. Okay. So, but still, if it's a 10-year hold, you got to wait 10 years into its maturity. Now, if you need your money for your rent and you ain't wealthy, you can't afford to do that, you might not want to get into any type of bond because you want to bust the bond. You understand? You're gonna have problems and you can get penalized for that. So that's what a bond is. A bond, I gotta get this through your head, because the main thing that you want to remember is an IOU. I remember a long time ago, if you want to, and I adopted this from a friend of mine, and he was a hustler in the street, and people used to ask him to borrow money all the time. He had it, and they used to ask him, and he used to ask them one question. And the question was, you come here, you want to borrow money from me because I got all this money and all this, right? He says, if you can answer this one question, I'll lend it to you. He said, tell me how I'm gonna get my money if you drop dead. And I heard him say that. And it's been 30 years since now, if you want to borrow money from Robert Henderson, you got to tell me how I'm gonna get my money if you drop dead. Okay. Now that leads me to different type of bonds. There are bonds that are in unsecured bonds. See, an unsecured bond will be a bond between me and you, James. If you say, Rob, I need to borrow $50,000. I need $50,000. So it's going to be an IOU. I'm not going to charge you no interest, James. I really won't, because me and you got that bond. And you don't have to really put up no collateral. I'm not going to ask you to put up your house, your car, and whatever. Because I know that you gainfully employed and you working on something.
Hey, Rob, I'm not putting it in a doggone bond.
I know you're not. I know you working. You cooking up something. You got an idea in your mind. The James T. I've been knowing over 30 years. You cooking up an idea. Good, better, best. Never let them rest. Let your good become your better. So James, you come to me and say, Rob, listen, I need to borrow $50,000. I ain't gonna ask you. So a bond. There's one type of bond called an unsecured bond. Now that's a risky bond. If you're gonna do an unsecured bond, that's a risky bond. My cousin Lily, who had no job, he want to borrow some money. I said, man, ain't no sense you talking about bond. I'm just gonna give you the money because I know I don't get it back. And it's unsecured because he don't have nothing collateralized, right? So there's different types of bonds. They're unsecured bonds and they're collateral bonds. Collateral bonds is, man, you got to put up your house. You got to put up your car. Give me the title or something in case you drop dead. I got to get some recourse. Now, that's called a non-recourse is non-security. I mean, there's no collateral. A recourse loan means that yeah, I can come after you. And when you buy corporate bonds, a corporate bond, the bond is backed by the faith and credit of that bond. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, they release bonds all the time. They make $1 billion a week, but they still want to borrow somebody money because they feel they borrow your money for cheaper and they can go out and make more money off your money. So borrowing is not bad. In fact, it is a good investment strategy if you can borrow low and take that money and make more money. That's a good strategy. So $1 billion companies do it all the time, believe it or not.
Hey, and they have money and they borrow.
And they have money. They want to use your money. And that's something. And that's the way a capitalist society goes. So now you have tax-free bonds. But one thing we do know, they all have maturity dates. You can't buy a bond today and sell it tomorrow and get your money back. No, it's a 1 year or 10 year or 5 year or 20 year or 30-year bonds.
I hope you get more than the 5% on a 30-year.
A bit more. So you got to ask yourself, are you a bond? Now, so I just gave you the technical part or just demonstrated to you what a bond is. Now let's look at characteristics. If you're a type of person like, listen, man, you don't want to take no risk, then you should know that you're a bond type. You want guarantees. Some people say, I like the bond, but I want a little more. I like the guarantee, but I want a little more. That's when the next step up from a bond is an annuity. And so bonds can come from corporations. It can come from the U.S. government. That's who issue bonds. Or a church can issue bonds.
When you touched on that earlier, you said you put together for a church, okay, to have a bond.
Offering. Right.
So they were asking membership or even outside of membership?
No, yeah, even outside of membership. A church said, okay, listen, we have some land here. We need $2 million. We can't get it from banks because the bank's going to ask us for our firstborn. But what we're going to do, we're going to get it from the members. We're going to ask the members, because a lot of times churches will just ask the members every time you go, you got to tithe, you got to give offerings for this, a building fund, And some churches have service morning, noon, and night, 3 times. They just collecting money. It's a business. I mean, you're saving souls too. Okay, I give you that. But it's a business. So this church said, listen, Robert, we need you to help us to sell bonds. We need you to get in the pulpit and explain to people what a bond is. A bond is nothing but an IOU. Now, you go to this church and y'all go. So I said, members, y'all go to this church. This church needs to raise $2 million to build a whole new church. They already have the land. They're going to issue bonds. You can buy them in 10,000 allotments. You can buy them in 20,000 allotments. You can buy them in 1,000 allotments. But they're going to pay you guys 7%. Now, they can't get 7% on the open market. Can't go to the bank at 7%. Now, the risk is if the church goes out of business. But how can the church go out of business if y'all keep coming? As long as y'all keep coming and tithing, we're going to be okay because y'all tithing anyway. So instead of taking your money and putting it into the local bank, earning 29 cents a month, just take your money and give it to us, the church, who you see the preacher, and we're going to take and we'll give you 7% in 10 years. But by that time, so now not just the members hear about this 7% and they know the preacher and they have in church. Outside people said, hey, I want that too. I want that 7%. And they start giving. One guy gave 100,000. Another guy gave 100,000, 7%. But he knows that he's not going to get his money back, his 100,000 into 10 years. But he's getting 7% on that money, which means he's getting $7,000 per year. He okay with that. So people started coming in, and the church wrote them an IOU. And they raised the $2 million. And the people kept tithing. When they got built the church, more people started coming. The church started making more money to be able to pay off those bonds that they started with.
Robert,
Let the church say amen. Huh?
was that something you spoke with me about that I got involved in?
Probably.
I think it was.
Probably.
While you were talking, I said, "Wait
Probably.
a minute." Okay, no, that's fine. That's go ahead.
Probably. Okay.
But that's an excellent. But now that's an excellent idea. What about people who, quote unquote, have the land and want to build for a business, or want to build affordable houses, or want to build? Can they do that?
Yeah, but James, remember now, if you want my money, I'm going to ask you how I'm going to get my money back if you drop dead. Because your wife going to say she don't know me. You know what I mean? And she going to say she don't have it. So you got to give me some sort of collateral or something. Let me put a lien on the land or something. You know what I mean? I want you to collateralize.
But are you saying it can be done? Or does that become a partnership rather than issuing a bond?
It's still issuing a bond. You an IOU. Anytime you IOU, you promising that you're gonna pay the people back. Whoever give you the money, they gotta feel good about you or your character, or feel like you do have the wherewithal to pay them back. They have to trust you.
But because you would want people to be assured, if we're doing a building, because in our community, quote unquote, where we live or used to live, whatever, there are lots. People have large lots, and they have a house, and then this large lot. Maybe they were in the lawn service business, and they, would park their trucks there, whatever. Now, usually, if you're in the city limits or whatever, downtown, they restrict what trucks you can park in front of your house, on the lot, whatever. But if you have an opportunity to go up, let's say 3 stories, they allow you to go up 3 stories, and you can build a unit that may house 3, 4 families. Okay, you don't have the money. You need the $2 million. Let's just use the $2 million. Would you advise anyone to look at putting out a bond, or would you just tell them to seek out partners?
Well, okay. So let's just say, I mean, if you want to sell a bond because you want people to lend you money for your project, if you say you're gonna pay them 5% or 7% or 10%, but you're saying that once the project is completed, long as the numbers are there, the project is throwing that kind of cash flow and rent out where you can service them and pay them. You understand? You can pay them, and then once it's built, it's gonna be worth more than $2 million. It may be worth $5 million. Then you can take them out by going to get a traditional loan, because there will be no mortgage on the property. There's going to be bond. And if it's cash flowing out, you can pay the people their cash flow, their 7% or 5%, whatever they give you the money for. And then once the property is built, you can refinance and get a bank loan and pay the bond people off. You can do it that way.
But you can issue a bond.
Yes, you can.
On the project. Okay.
Yes, you can. But the people, like I said, it has to be enough people that trust you, and you'd have to have the numbers that say once it is built, how I'm gonna get my money back. Most people just want to know how they're gonna get their money back, and they want to make sure that it's secure. You got to secure them. You know what I mean? You just got to make them feel whole. And reason why people buy bonds for Apple, they lend Apple money, believe it or not. They buy bonds from Apple, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, McDonald's, all of them issue bonds. All of them have debt like that. They have bondholders. People feel that those companies are going to be around. Kellogg's, they feel Kellogg's been around here for a long time. Kellogg's issue bonds, IOU, and people buy them. And people say, at least I'm getting, 4% on a Kellogg's bond. I'm not worried about Kellogg's not running out of cereal. You know, they've been around a long time, and people feel secure about that. So Kellogg's don't have to put up no collateral because just their name is collateral. Man, like if Oprah Winfrey said, "Hey, you know, lend me $1,000. I promise to pay you back." Most people ain't gonna say put up collateral, Oprah. They feel, hey, she got it. You know what I mean? They see her name is her bond, IOU, because the IOU is nothing but my word is my bond. Unless you say I believe you, but you gotta I trust but verify. Give me some collateral. And that's a collateral. That's a safe. And guess what? If the more safer you get that bond, the lesser interest they have to pay you. That makes sense?
That makes sense.
Yes.
Because I think that many and all of us at some point in our lives, we talk about this, Rob. We don't know what we don't know.
Right.
And you're sitting there with a vacant lot, or you got 5 acres in Georgia. You may, we got trees on it. But no, the land is just sitting there. So my thing is, I wanted to plant a seed in the minds of people of saying, hey, what you see is what you see, but what you can't see, but you can imagine is a vision. And sometimes we need to operate with the vision. What can I do with that? 10 acres mama left me in North Florida, those 5 acres that or 20 acres or 30 acres that the family has in, Tupelo, Mississippi or somewhere. There's something that can be done with it. And hey, we let the land sit there for years. I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. And hey, the land is just there. And hey, my family, my dad paid taxes on land for the family and took care of his mother, my grandmother, and me for years, on 60 acres of land. We did have income property on the land, and we did lease it out to farming and all of that. But now, when I drive back to that property, which I never would have sold it, but when I drive there, Robert, all along that property are now homes that I grew up on. Homes,
Yes.
people living there. Behind it is still acreage. Come on, man. So it's almost like what God told Moses. Moses, what do you want? Raise your hand and say it.
So the thing is, a lot of people don't have that kind of vision, James. I mean, you a lot of people
get the vision. Get the vision. Or get with somebody who has one. Rob, we got to do better, man.
Well, a lady called me up last night, who I went to high school with, and she said, her family, they're gonna sell 8 units in Marianna, Florida, and they said that somebody offered them $50,000, and I said, well, send me the information. And I said, today when I'm in the office after I do my show, I'll look it up and see what's the market value. I said, is there any houses around there? She say, it's a lot of like timber, it's wooded. So I said, well, let's look and see if, what it could be first before you sell it. Let's investigate. Because a lot of people do things without having all the facts and all the information. And most people just want to, you tell some people 50,000 and they ain't pay for nothing. They're like, oh man, that's a windfall. They short-sightedness. So James, you like you said, like we've said, the Bible says right there, Jesus said there will always be the poor among you. Some people have vision, some people can't. They just don't. They don't use it. You can't. You and I wish we can, play God and give them all vision, but they just don't. So that's why you have, and we're getting close and closer to the haves and the have-nots. I wanted to talk also about if some people say I don't like bonds, because James, you're not a bond guy. I'm not a bond guy. But now the next ladder up on a bond, I think I like these better than bonds, is the fixed annuity, the guarantee annuity, because now the payment that you're getting from annuity, you don't have to, as it grow, until you start getting payments, even though it's growing each year, you don't have to report the interest, the growth, the dividends. You don't have to report anything to the IRS on your taxes. Annuities, you don't pay taxes while they're growing. When you have a bond, you have to pay taxes. When you have a CD, even if you have it for 5 or 10 years, every year they're going to send you a piece of paper and say, this is how much interest that you earned that year. You got to pay taxes, even though you didn't get the principal back. You have to pay taxes. So a lot of people want to go and deal with annuities, because an annuity, you don't pay taxes as long as you keep the money inside the plan and you don't take the money out and go shopping and pay your bills. It grows tax deferred. And that's pretty good. And then when they do start paying you annuity, when they do start paying out at a certain time, when you say you want to get paid out next year or 5 years, there are annuities that you don't have to wait 10 years to start to get the payout. You can start getting the payout next month. And when you get a payout next month, the payout may be 6%. So if you put $100,000 in there, they're going to pay you out 6%. Now that 6% is $6,000 on $100,000. So they're going to pay you that monthly. So they pay you that monthly. All 6% is not taxable, because what they do is they give you part of your principal. They say part of it is a return of principal, and the other part is they paying you interest. Okay. Now that's going to be less taxing than a bond. It's going to be less taxing than a CD. Now, it's not less taxing than a municipal bond, but a municipal bond, the whole time, is longer. You have to hold it for longer. You can buy the annuity and next month start receiving payments, or you can say, I'm not going to receive the payments. I'm going to let the payments accumulate, and I'm going to start receiving them in 5 years, or I'm going to start receiving them, in 10 years. But the more you leave it in an annuity, the greater your payout will probably be, which it will be, because annuities also pay more based on your age. If you get $100,000 annuity that you want to start getting payments from, and you're 50 years old, and your friend get the same $100,000 annuity and they're 70 years old, the 70-year-old's monthly payout will be more than the 50-year-old payout, even though they both put in $100,000 the same day. Because with annuities, the older you are, it's kind of like Social Security payout. If you start taking Social Security at 62, they're going to pay you an extra amount of money. But if you wait and delay it and say you're going to take it at 65, you get more per month. So the older you get, you wait and say you're going to take it at 70, you get paid even more. The same concept with annuities. So I like annuities much better than I like bonds. For one, when you put money in an annuity, let's say you put $100,000 in an annuity, and then, after 1 year goes by and all of a sudden you need $10,000, you can get it. You can get it without no penalty or anything. A bond, you can't not get it. So annuities have more liquidity. They're more flexible. You have more control than having a bond. But like I said, people say stocks and bonds. I don't like bonds, me personally, but rich people buy bonds when they don't want to take no more risk. Take no more risk. I'm still growing. I don't think I ever buy a bond. I buy annuities. I buy annuities. I buy real estate, and I buy stocks, and I buy life insurance.
Forever growing, Rob. Forever
growing. You're right. You're forever growing. But some people just want to time out, and they want to do that. So the question is, are you a stock or are you a bond? Now, I want you to understand there's a lot of risk with being a stock. Let me tell you something. If you have the characteristics of a stock, like James T and I, we don't know what tomorrow brings. All of us do have some stocks in us, characteristic, because none of us know. We live by faith. And that right there is a concept of a growth stock. We live by faith. At one time we were kids and we was hoping to grow up. Some of us grew up, some of us didn't make it. Think about that. Everybody didn't grow up. Some people died. That was a risk. You risk living, you risk dying in order to live. So my nature is growth. My nature is a stock. I'm a calculated stock taker. Risker. I'm a calculated risk taker. In other words, I won't bet that it's going to rain in the next 10 minutes. I don't know that unless I did all my study and I look at the forecast. But without me knowing, I'm just not going to bet. I have to look at the probability. I will buy a McDonald's stock because I looked at their report card. I look at how many burgers and how many stores they're opening up. I would do that. I'm not afraid of that. But can McDonald's or Kellogg's or Coca-Cola or even Apple or even Microsoft, can they tell you exactly, can they guarantee you the value of their shares? No, they can't. So that's all faith. That's all belief. And because you yourself, you can't, nobody that's listening on this program or watching this program, none of y'all can guarantee that y'all gonna wake up tomorrow morning. Can you?
But I bet on it though.
Jay, so you'll bet you gonna wake up?
Rob, because of what I do today is betting on that but here's the key, Rob. I'm betting on a tomorrow, whether I'm here or not. And that's what we do. We know that there is a tomorrow. So our actions today says, okay, if you plant today, whether I'm here or you here, whether we're here tomorrow, if we plant good seed in good soil, there's going to be a good harvest. Now, like they said, we may not get it, but somebody is going to, and that's the thinking that I think we have to have, man, because if not, all these weeds going to grow up around us and going to choke us out of the wealth that we have that we can't see, because most people want to deal just on what they see, and if you banking on, hey, just what you can see, hey, the day will come.
But when you said something about harvest, you made me think, in life, in truth.
Yeah.
In harvest, every seed that was planted, all the crop don't come out perfect.
Come on. Some
of it you have to discard and throw because it's not good. And then you have to get all the ones. I mean, just like mango season, all the mangoes, they come different. If you in wine, you're a winer, all the grapes, some grapes you got to throw away, discard, and you get all the good grapes, and that's how it is being stocks. That's how it is being investing. That's how it is, living. I mean, we have some up days, some down days, you know what I mean?
But if you don't plant or plan, Rob, what you gonna get? If you plant, if you plant or plan nothing, what you gonna get is nothing.
Mario say, is this a gardening show?
Yes.
Mario, we use an example. We use an example. We all are farmers. We all are farmers. We all
trust me. Rob, we planting today. We plant for tomorrow. Because tomorrow's gonna come, whether we're here or not. But if we just say, I don't know if I'm gonna be here tomorrow, so I'm not gonna plant anything today. I'm not gonna plant anything. I'm not gonna plant anything. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah. But I would say, the best of both worlds is to diversify. But when you find something that's good, there's something that's really good and it's working for you, you should really put it all in there. I want to say it again. When you find a horse that's fast.
Now we're a racetrack. We're not gardening. We're at the racetrack now. Mario.
When you find something that you do good, and you find something that's working for you, you should really put your all and do that.
I did it for years.
and I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. When you find something that's working for you, that is rewarding to you, that is prospering and flowing, you really don't have to do nothing else. All you got to do is just do that, really. And if you do that, you become really good at it. And you really can take off. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why I'm saying this. Because Warren Buffett, who's like 94 years old, and his partner, Charlie Munger, just died last year, or was it early part of this year? They told the truth. And it came out when Charlie died about this thing that they teach in college. They're teaching the security industry, and they talk about diversification. And in the financial world, diversification is a big word. It's a must. But let me tell you something in terms of truth, not just the facts, but truth. When you find something good, you really don't have to diversify. Most of the wealthiest people in the world are not diversified. Elon Musk made all his money in Tesla. He didn't diversify. Bill Gates started Microsoft, made all his billions in Microsoft. Steve Jobs, before he died, he made all his money just in Apple. In order to be a good husband, and you're married, and you have a good marriage, you got one wife. You ain't got girly burly, you ain't got juicy fruits, you ain't got a whole no. LeBron James, how he became a billionaire is basketball. When you find something that's good and it's really bringing you success and helping you, you don't really have to diversify. Warren Buffett and Charlie finally said that what they teach us in college and all these classes says diversification. That's when you don't really know nothing. When you just figure like you're just gonna, it's kind of like having a gun, a pistol, and having a shotgun. If you are so good when you aim, if you're a sharpshooter, oh man, you just have a gun. Pow. But if you're not that good, like I ain't, you got to get a shotgun. You got to just put it in that direction, and you're gonna hit something. You know what I mean? That's diversify. You understand? But when you know what you know, oh man, you do that. That's now. I want y'all to think about what I just said in its whole totality. All right, does that make sense to you, James?
Hey man, hey, they said that James was a farmer anyway, so I've been farming all my life.
You're a farmer, right?
My grandmother taught me how to plant, to bring about a product, and how to sell it. Doc, those three things. As a third grader, plant, bring about a product, sell it. And boom, plant, product, sale, plant. And even if it's a talent or a gift, hey, you got to market yourself. Man. That's what I'm saying, man. We got everything that we need, Rob. People don't have to be broke or poor.
Or stupid.
Yeah. You don't have to be broke or poor. Hey, like there's some. Miles. Hey, for everybody, Miles got this thing about. I think it's keys. Wow, what is it? Keys to planning change or something like that. Look it up. Check it out. Miles Monroe, Dr. Miles Monroe. Keys to planning change. See, Rob, hey, OJ said we living for the weekend. We're not planning 5 years. We're not planning 1 year ahead, 2 years ahead, 5 years ahead. We're not planning 10 years ahead. Wow, there are things that you have planted 20 years ago, 30 years ago. There's things I've planted 44 years ago.
And they're coming to fruition now.
Doc, and go keep. Wow, come on, that and I'm saying, but again, if you don't plant nor plan, or if you don't plan not plant, what are you gonna get? A job.
Yep. And that ain't all it is. And that ain't all it is. Listen,
we got to
go, James. But listen, if you need some counseling, some financial planning, some strategy, if you want to do something, but you're saying, hey, it might be a better way to do it. Yeah. That's the spirit talking to you. Call the Henderson Financial Group, 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. You can also look at us on our catch us on our website, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. And you can call us 305-825-1444 and schedule a Zoom or schedule a conference call, and we'll talk to you independently about your financial situation. And we'll help you. We'll help you put a budget together. We'll help you retire. We'll help you get Medicare's. We'll help you, in terms of Social Security. We'll help you with wills and trusts. We'll help you in investment planning. We'll help in retirement planning. We can help you real estate strategy. We can help you. That's what we do. We do this, and we love to do this. All we do. Now, we don't know how to fix no cars. Okay, we don't know how to do that. And we don't know how to, pull teeth. We don't know how to do that. And we don't know how to cut grass. We don't know how to do that. But we do know financial planning and strategies. We do know that, especially about insurance. You need to have this insurance strategies, okay? Life insurance strategy. Now, homeowners insurance, I have to refer to you somebody, okay? We have to refer to you somebody do homeowners insurance. We don't do that. We do life insurance, and there's different type of life insurance. There's something for you. We do that. Call 305-825-1444. I promise you'll be glad you did that. The life you save may be your own.
and your siblings.
And your siblings. And refer. Please, we need refer. Refer. And y'all share these broadcasts, because people need to know that, because they're hearing too much junk out there. This is something they can use right now, and they can use it. All right. We're on YouTube and Facebook. Listen, love you very much. James, we need to have prayer, man.
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah. As a matter of fact, hold on. People calling me up, Rob. So I know they want to see you. But hey, a short prayer this morning, Rob, and it goes like this. First of all, God has given us all the blessings that we need. So, Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we thank you for the blessings that you have already given us. But I ask one thing, oh God, that you would do for us, and that is increase our awareness and give us that vision that you have placed within us to become all that you created us to be. We promise that we'll give you all the praise and all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Boy, I hope y'all learned something today, because we said a mouthful today, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Yeah. 2 mouthfuls.
2 mouthfuls, right?
Okay.
All right. Much love to y'all. Be safe. Be careful. Love you. Same time, same station next week. Peace.
Yeah, peace.